Hello,
Just a
am
second.
I audible?
Just hello, sir. I think you can hear me now.
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I also can hear you, sir.
Okay, so I'm audible, right?
Yes, you are audible.
Yeah, fine, fine.
So, first of all, welcome back again. So, it has been a bit long that we are working together for about 2 years or so.
Yes, sure.
Welcome, sir. And as I have discussed earlier, that today's discussion would be based on translating from not only from one language to another language, but from one culture to another culture, and
Okay,
cultural stereotypes, like I had written you yesterday. Uh,
okay.
Sir, first of all, uh, I would like to show you the book that we have for Ikisan story, and I'm very sorry that I do not have it at my hand. Just give me 1 second. I'm coming back. So this is, I hope it is visible. This is the book, and
Yes, I can see it.
and we will have a jacket around it, and these are the pages and this is the layout, and we have tried to keep some essential Japanese design elements, like putting the developed content in vertical direction and then putting it in horizontal direction again, and
Okay.
then
Yeah, it looks very great.
thank you. And the stories, the beginning of the stories are illustrated, and it's a hardbound book. So it's like this. You know it already. How many? There are 11 stories. I, as far as I know.
11 is it? I
No,
think
you have
total
sent
there
me
were
no
14.
13. You have sent me 13, and I have kept no. I have kept 10 stories. I will,
I see.
yeah, I'll tell I'll discuss with you in person why I didn't keep three of the stories. One was
Yeah.
probably because of the name itself, something related to you remember there was some excretion related name, like
Oh yeah, that yeah,
sort
that
of things like
story.
yes, sort of things like that, but we did it in such a hurry that I didn't have much time to request you for a revision or anything. So we
Okay, okay, yeah.
so I think we will
Okay.
soon be out of the book fair print run. So anyway, we will have to go for a second print run, and we will then include the rest of these three stories that are there for some revision. So that would not be a
Yeah,
problem.
sure.
So, sir, what we essentially wanted to know is when we translate from one language to another language, we do not only translate
Yes.
language, we translate their sensibility. Like,
Right.
see, the English that is spoken and the way English is understood in for say Britain, UK, is very different from the same word is understood in US and in India. So that is why we recently have a branch, a separate branch called Indian English. Like in Indian
Yes.
English, it is quite accepted when you ask what is your good name, but it is a wrong English
Yeah, right.
as per the if we say international standard, although there is
Yeah.
no such standard. So in that context, if we want to translate the sensibility that is imparted in a way, like when I'm saying what is your good name in say another language like UK English, then how is it possible
Yeah.
that we might translate from one language to another language? Is it, how does it work for Japanese language actually?
You mean for translating from Japanese into English?
Indian English, yes.
Okay, I mean, when I translated from Japanese into English, I didn't have that, Indian English at the back of my mind. I mean, I just translated into
English,
English.
yes.
So, I mean, I don't know, maybe because I'm an Indian, maybe my English translation would have had some the so-called Indianisms. But I tried to uh, translate it into, I mean, the so-called standard English or international English, or I don't know what to call that. Yeah, definitely. I mean, when you translate from one language into another language, there are many issues. Yeah, there is the issue of cross-cultural knowledge and cultural words, which the readers in the target language may not be knowing. So in that case, usually, I mean, again, like there are translation theories, and many translators come up with different solutions to that. So some translators, they try to you know uh, choose the nearest equivalent in the target language, but that is not always possible. Yeah, so I don't know. For example, in East Asian cultures, there are a lot of noodles are eaten. So noodles now of course we are familiar with noodles, but traditionally we didn't have noodles in India. But in some like Indian sweets, we use like when I think in Hindi it's called sevaya or
Sevai,
something.
sevai. Yes, Urdu, I guess.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, so some translators, I mean, when they translate noodles for Indian audience, then they use words like that, sevaya or all.
Yes, but
But I don't think, yeah, that is not a. I mean, this is again my personal opinion, but uh, searching for the nearest equivalent word is not a very good idea, and it doesn't work every time. So usually, what I do is I just uh, give the word as it is, and then I give a cultural note or a cultural explanation,
later.
because that is the best way to make the reader familiar with that particular concept or word in that particular culture. So that is one thing. Then again, yeah, there are so many other issues, like for example, recently Spout books also came out with my translation of Nimi Nankichi
Yes.
stories. Now in one of the stories, I think that will come out later,
Camp.
uh, buying mittens. uh, yeah, so that story, I think it begins with the sentence, like a dark black night enveloped the forest, or something like that. So now in original Japanese sentence, in Japanese, like kuroi, the word kuroi is black, and it starts like kuroi kuroi. So that kuroi is repeated. So it's something like black night. So black night. But if you translate it into English as, black night enveloped the forest, it sounds very odd. So then although it's like kuroi kuroi, then I used dark black night envelop the forest. So you have to make such changes, because you can't find the exact equivalent expressions in the target language. So that is, yeah, another issue, I would say, when
Yes,
translating from one culture into another.
even sir, I can share that we are internally working in translating from one dialect of Bangla into
Yes.
the
Okay.
uh, standard spoken Bangla or written Bangla.
Okay.
And I was astonished to find that whenever I am translating that dialect into the standardized version, we are constantly losing content and the feeling that has been there in the text. So this is a huge challenge
Yeah.
for any translator who decides to take up a translating job, because this is not only challenge, this is the exact point where you enjoy translating, I guess. How it is your
Yeah,
create.
this is the joy of
Yeah.
translating. I mean, finally, when you manage to translate that thing in the target language in, whatever way, using whatever techniques, then the satisfaction that you get, that, oh, finally I managed to achieve this, I managed to render this in the target language. So that feeling is a very special feeling, so you really have to experience it to, to describe it. So I think that is what gives motivation to the translator and keeps him or her going.
Yes, and sir, also I often find another problem with translating is that there is another project going on. The project is written by an American about the culture. It is a novel about the culture that deals with Norwegian people, the Eskimos, and
Norwegian
yes,
people.
and
Okay.
she certainly did not live there. And then again, we are translating that into Bangla, and whenever we are doing it, we are doubly reflecting.
So that is from translating from
English,
English
yes,
into Bangla.
yes, English into Bangla. But I see that she has somehow missed out some aspects of their culture, and then again, we are missing out more aspects of their culture while translating. So this is what.
Uh, I see. So basically, I mean, as I understand, she has translated it from Norwegian into
No, no, no,
English.
no, no, sir. See, that was the original work done by her. But
I
she
see.
is
I
an
see.
American, so she does have not lived there, and she doesn't have the clear idea of how they converse, how they see life. She is
Right.
an observant of the Norwegian culture, and we are
Yeah.
translating her work. So in between, we are losing at least some content, and I would not deny that whenever translate, no
Yes.
matter how good the translation is, you not only have to be fluent in the language, but one has to be very deep into the culture that he's translating. Otherwise, there are many
Yes. Yes.
losses.
Yes. Yes. That's very right. Yes.
Ye- So I was wondering, it's a huge challenge to translate any from one language to another language. And sir, another thing, although we will be discussing very briefly, so another thing that I feel wondered about is every culture somehow manages to have some stereotype, like this book is about EQ son, the boy EQ, if I'm
Ikusan.
yes,
Yeah.
and then this Mullah Nasiruddin in subcontinental culture. And how is
Yeah.
that possible that we have such characters, such stereotypes, but then the way we depict the character gets very different, because see, there is a subtle difference between fun and wit and being mesmerized, etc. So if I say reading Mullah Nasruddin is fun, then reading Ikwisan is about wit. So you need to think while you are reading, and only then you will be able to enjoy. Even if a child reads it, which is a very easy reading, but you have to think
Yeah.
through. So is Japanese culture about being uh, intellectually attuned? in terms of thinking.
No, the stories of EQ or EQ-san, he's known in Japan. They are very popular among Japanese children, and there have been TV serials and even animations of EQ-san. So I think he enjoys the same popularity in Japan that Mullah Nasiruddin enjoys in subcontinent. Yeah, maybe, but I would say actually Mullah Nasiruddin comes from the Turkic
Yes,
speaking
yes, region, yes,
areas.
yes.
So the Central Asian countries, Uzbekistan, Kazakhstan,
Yes,
Turkmenistan,
yes.
Kyrgyzstan,
Uyghurs, I
Tajikistan, and
guess.
of course Turkey. Yeah. And of course, from as the Turks came to India, they got those stories with them. So basically, Mullah Nasiruddin is a cultural symbol or stereotype of Turkic people. So in subcontinent, of course, like we have Birbal, or in South India we have Tenali Rama, and I think in Bengal you have Gopal
Bhan,
Bhand,
yes.
and yeah. So yeah, we also have definitely our own subcontinental
No,
stereotypes.
what I observed is that there are some common elements between Gopal Bhar, Mullah Nasiruddin, and Tenali Raman.
Yes.
And we can probably group them into the category where the rustic fun is involved, like laughing at people without, like somebody falls down, you instantly laugh, but that is not a laughable
Yeah.
situation, but we instantly laugh. So that kind of
Right.
fun is there in that mm, cultural stereotype, be it Mullah Nasiruddin, be it Gopal Bhar.
Yes.
But when we were dealing with Equison, I thought it evokes some kind of thinking through. Otherwise, it is not just a simple fun that somebody falls and someone else's laugh.
Yeah. Yeah. Actually, yeah, it's a very complex topic, that humor and culture. So, Japanese humor is not
Not difficult,
different
but
from
provokes you to
not
think.
difficult, but it's different. So, most of the Japanese humor is actually untranslatable, and unless you know the Japanese language, and that too, like you really have a good knowledge of Japanese language, you can't really enjoy Japanese humor. And it's very different from our sense of humor, or
Yes, yes.
even Western sense of humor, because most of our jokes, like even the jokes that we tell in everyday life, they are like situational. That somebody goes somewhere and meets somebody, and then they say something, and there is the
Yes,
punchline.
yes, yes.
So that kind of situational humor is just absent in Japan. They don't have that situational humor in Japanese culture. So, like, if you try to tell a joke, like a typical Indian joke, to a Japanese friend, they just don't get it. Like, even when you tell them the joke and the punchline, and then they would like ask you seriously, "Oh, really?" And then what happened, or something
They're
like that.
expecting something.
So the joke is just lost on them. So in that sense, Japanese humor is very different. It's more pun based, about language
Yes,
puns
yes,
and
yes.
language jokes, and how you can play with the language. And of course, then there are different. They also have this one man Japanese comedy, traditional Japanese comedies, where one actor, he comes on the stage and then performs something, and then similarly, like, makes language related jokes. Or there can be some historical jokes with some historical context, or something like that, but not situational kind of jokes. So yes, it's a very different kind of humor, and very difficult to translate, I guess. So that is why I mean, translating these EQ Sun stories, it was yeah, in a way difficult, and I was not very sure whether I would be able to translate that humor for Indian audience. So I really don't know whether I've done a good job or not. That only the
No, no,
readers can
no, no.
decide. But
It was
yeah, that's the thing.
no, it was a fantastic job, and we have included the notes, and the notes are really helpful. Because there are language based jokes, and if you don't really know
Yes,
double meaning of the word, you will be missing out the
yes,
content, and that double meaning cannot be expressed in English, so you need to know the original Japanese word and then note it. It's
yeah,
the
yeah,
both ways. So
yes, yes.
I what I saw in book fair is the acceptability of the book is very good. The reception of the book was very good. We have almost
Okay,
sold out the book fair. We have printed 50 copies for the book fair, so I think there are
50
yes,
copies.
for the book fair purpose, and so I think
Right.
we are left with 4 or 5 copies right now. So
I see.
so it was a very good reception. Probably people are very much interested about Japan, because Japan is a mystery for most of us. We are more
Yes, yes,
connected with the west than with the east. We are connected with China,
yes,
of course,
definitely. Yes,
because of the political thing and all, because of Nehru maybe, or maybe later, whatever the political situation is. But with Japan, we are not much connected. So we are very much interested in Japan, and the receptibility was very promising. I think people will love the book. Uh, and sir,
I'm happy to hear that.
and sir, we will send you your author's copies very soon, and we could not send it right now, so this is our situation, and we hope to meet again with some other project. And
Sure, sure,
we will
definitely.
be of course we will be coming out with the picture books that are there in Nankichinimi's part, and there will be the second part of Nankichinimi. So we are all lined up projects. We have all of them. So
Yes.
thank you, sir. Thank you for being with us. Thank you for your time.
Yeah,
We appreciate it
yeah.
much.
Thank you for inviting me for the program. I really enjoyed it.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you. Thank you.
thank you.
Bye bye. Bye.
Bye.